here, no, we're like this. I have to put the hook in first. Then I get in here and I overhook. And you notice when I overhook, this hook is not really designed to flip you, it's just to get my hip out. I just want to get my hip out. But I get this, it's an overhook with the lapel control, yes. And when you grab the lapel, you pull down, like you're pulling down on a chain to really put some tension on that side. The way to finish this choke, and this is the way I set this attack sequence up, is I commit everything to this choke. So what I'm really trying to do is when I pull down, my angle's a little off, but I grab here, but I want to extend my legs and sit up. I want to cut his hips. If I'm squeezing, but you're able to bring your knees in and your hips up, yeah, you can endure more. The more I cut your hips, all that's hanging on your neck. What happens here, and to back up, from this position, if I have it tight and you're still not tapping, I sweep to the overhook side, and I'll use my legs like a piston. This leg extends and bring the other one up. And now I just open my legs and drop my hips. Boom. And that'll usually seal the choke. Straight away. This is how I enter into the overhook collar choke. I struggled with how to finish this for a long time. I could never quite get the mechanics and it was just killing my hands. But then Jean-Jacques always talks about for triangles, if you can cut their hips down, all the weight hangs on their neck. So I just apply the same principle. So, and even then, if it's not enough, then we sweep and let gravity take over. Open your legs wide, drop the hips and squeeze. There's plenty of room for them to try to escape, but if they take their hands off their neck, they're gonna be asleep. So this is kind of how I set all this up, is this attack first. Based on how you defend is the follow-up, which is where we go. I make the hook, move my hip out, I get in here, and now because I have the overhook arm trapped, your left hand's all you got. Exactly. So if you can come around this side, all we're doing here, you see where your hand is. My overhook arm, I'm replacing off your lapel and grabbing your sleeve. Right there. Once we get that, I let this go. Keep your head close, shoulder to the ground, sweep. And when I sweep, my hip goes forward just a little bit. And you end up mounted triangle. From here, I always tend to think, pinch the knees together. We can start working on the elbow. I don't do anything to lift your head, to move my legs. The only thing I'll do is, once we get in here, can you attack the arm? For sure. But if you roll, then my legs will lock into place. Doesn't matter which side. See, then I'll lock it. I don't try to lock it from the top. Here, make the overhook. Right there's flat, center your hips. Boom, like this. Now, when I do this, you switch the grip. You keep that.
Stay here and just grab
that one, see? Holds the wrist. Now you hold, the reason why you have to hold my head is if you try to sweep me, let go of my head, just try to sweep me. And some guys will post off their head to clear. So, when you get me here, and we're like this, and you're holding my sleeve with that hand, pull my head into your chest. Yeah, now it's an easy sweep, and you'll notice, if you sweep, throw your knees forward. See, yes, you land. You can land and mount, but this is, do you want points or finish, you know? Yeah. And once you get here, you can take the arm. Exactly. See, it's like you still have way too many finishing options. And if I start to push you over, then you lock it. But there's no need in creating all that discomfort from the top. Just use gravity. But the other component here, just switch. When I get in here, and I have the lapel, and I'm going here, and you grab my hand, and I switch. I pull the head in. One of the other things you can do, sometimes it's a consequence of you trying to sweep, but I track your elbow. If your elbow's here, I'll go for the sweep. But if your elbow's on the inside, I'll create a little extension with my hooks and then extract everything and go straight to the triangle. Because your arm is tucked. It just depends arm positioning, but you make the grip. See, this is why this powers this is what's gonna draw this in. See, now you hold my head. See, my elbow's already in. Stretch your hooks and then pull your, yes, beautiful. All overhook. And again, overhook and attacking the neck. But in this case, we don't need the guillotine, we have the lapels.
Yeah, it's nice. It's really good. We have done that a few times.
Yeah, I've gone over this before. I really like overhook, but overhook is not a defensive hold. Underhook, you can kind of sit in the pocket for a little bit, but overhook, you have to be engaging and attacking.
It's funny, Josh does a really similar no-gi series. Real similar. He just adds the monoplata onto that mount take.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. But it, you know, it's interesting because like everybody understands these principles of control.
Actually, I've got a good question for you. You did this to me rolling the other night because it was from this position. I was lucky enough to hit you here, and you were doing a really, because I couldn't turn your head. Your head was getting really low, and I felt like I was doing the right stuff, but you were pummeling your legs and managing to turn my top knee somewhere and getting your hips over the other side. Do you remember that? Too much rolling for you to remember. And you were using this you were somehow beating my knee frame when you balanced.
Well,
getting your hips around.
One thing I had to compensate for is because I can't put a lot of pressure. I'm reluctant to put a lot of pressure on this knee. Yeah. So when I feel a side like this get compromised, I'm trying to just.
Yeah, maybe you were doing that.
See, and I kind of pummel my arm in and go to the strong hook. And I'm not trying to sweep you. I'm just, because I don't want to put too much pressure, but you see the framework now, if you get on top, it's a different position.
Yeah.
But I was sort of anticipating what you were trying to do. Every time you have this kind of, yeah, see, and I was mindful of the triangle too, so I knew that I could not do anything with the arm you were controlling, so I had to weave this one in and frame off your hip. See, and then as you start to come up, I'm able to just extract. It's just enough to extract my leg and then set up my own, and this is like the finishing position here. I'm just trying to, I'm giving you the top, but I can't give you the top into quarter guard. You're in here like this. I think you're holding like this.
Yeah.
See? So as I start doing, yes. And as you drop, pummel your leg under my leg. See? And you're, yes. And ideally, I would have a follow-up right from here. I'd sweep you back. I would do something with it. But a lot of my defense is based on that. We kind of covered it this week here where, like, you have your first line of defense, which is where I root my hips, and I just simply deny you the ability to really engage your guard or do what you want to do. Second line is you're starting to move me and making an angle to adjust to the movement. The third line is a high level now where it's pretty much a given you're going to sweep me. So I have to have a little anticipatory movement. My technique is based on the idea that I have to ground myself first, but I'll have a framework ready. So as soon as my back hits the ground, I'm ready to counterattack right away. We don't accept the position. Even though I fall there temporarily, I'm not going to accept it. So leaving my arm on the outside is accepting the position, maybe even getting submitted. And I knew that the hook was your primary thing, so that gave me the freedom to just pummel arm in. It's called survival.